Kids are starting school soon, and that's causing stress for parents for so many reasons. Some schools have announced that they will be going online for the upcoming school year. Others are trying a hybrid model, while some are choosing to bring students in the classroom. And all of these options are reasons for anxiety and stress for parents who worry about their kids' safety and health and education, socialization, and so forth. Today I want to share 3 steps you can take to help you deal with the stress and the overwhelm. I hope to help you make the most of your time with your kids, whether they'll be learning remotely or going to school. Hi, Ramona here with Encouraging Discipline. I bring you tools and support to help you develop more consciousness in your life so you can find more calm and confidence in your parenting most of the time. If you're new here, consider subscribing to my channel and visit encouragingdiscipline.com for more articles, freebies, and to find out how you can work with me. And while you're there, make sure you join my email list so we can keep in touch. Wherever you live in the world right now, I think you can agree that we are living in exceptional times. Lockdown, school closures, uncertainty. Some schools will open in person, others online. Whatever decision school districts make, it will be tough on all parents, and it will cause a lot of stress about kids starting school. We may be scared our kids will bring home the virus, and it's happened in some countries and schools, or we may feel the pressure and overwhelm if our kids will have to learn online while we work from home, or if we decided to homeschool and we've never done this before, or if we have to work outside the home. Lots of reasons for parents to feel stressed. Any scenario is a brand new situation that we're not prepared for, so our brain is on high alert constantly. Our anxiety tends to make us controlling, short-tempered, impatient, and consequently it can ruin our relationship with our children over schoolwork and the messy house and many other small things. So today I want to share with you the 3 steps that can help you reduce this stress and bring your brain to a calmer state by giving it some control. And we can find some control by making a choice. We can't deny the stressors in our lives right now and the multitude of things we have no control over. But there is one thing that is under our control, and that is how we respond to stress. We can't control the stressors, but how we respond to the stressors in our lives is up to us. We can make the choice to resist what is, the reality that we're in, and to feel frustrated and unhappy because we don't like it. And then we're in this continuous struggle to change what is, to go back to normal, whatever we had before. Or we can accept what is. We can grieve the loss of certainty that we used to have. We can be sad about the situation that we're in, but then we can try to find the strength to decide to move on. So let's see what we can do with the situation we're in. Not the situation we wish we were in, but the one we're currently in, because we can't change it. So how can we make the choice to find peace? The way we do this is in 3 steps: bring awareness, find acceptance, and take action. Let's start with the first step, awareness. First, we have to be aware of and acknowledge the way that we're feeling. If we're not aware of what we're feeling, then we're controlled by the feelings. We may also have knee-jerk reactions that we don't even know why we're acting or reacting the way that we do. The stress that we feel about kids starting school is a lot. Actually, the stress is a lot of feelings, really. It's anxiety, it's nervousness, frustration, or sadness. It can be any or all of these feelings. In these troubled times, when everything is upside down, when we don't know what's going to happen next, we don't know how our children will be affected long term by all that's going on, and we don't know when everything's going to end, there's a lot of uncertainty. And uncertainty causes anxiety. Another feeling that we may have is sadness. Sadness for the fact that we can't see our families, our friends, our kids can't participate in sports. My kids and I walk past the playground or the pool and they keep asking when we can go. All these things and more make us feel very sad. We lost many things that made us feel connected and secure. So first, it's important to allow those feelings, to not chase them away. You see, when we try to change and rebel against the current situation, it's because we're actually trying to chase away those unpleasant feelings. But acknowledging them and just noticing and being honest about them, yeah, I'm really sad and upset right now, will help us to slow down and be more aware about what's going on inside ourselves. This step helps to release the emotions so we're not as attached to them and controlled by them. The second step in reducing stress is acceptance. And this is one of the hardest things to do. Our brain likes things to be predictable, and what we had before, be it good or bad, was what we knew, what we were used to. So now that we don't have that, our brain is in the red zone. Alert, alert, new situation, possible danger. And living like this on alert for extended periods of time is exhausting. We have to understand that our brain will want to bring us back to safety. So that's why we have this tendency or even urgency to bring back the old normal, because it's what's familiar and making our brain feel safe. But here's the thing, we can't bring the old normal back, at least not for a while. We are in an entirely different movie right now. And if we keep fighting it, that's not going to change anything. In fact, it's making things worse for us. Actually, when they teach water safety, the National Safety Council says that, and I quote, "If you get caught in a current, try not to fight it. Stay calm and float with it, or swim parallel to the shore until you can swim free." And this is so relevant for any struggle or challenge that we're facing, not just the current one. Don't fight it. Stay calm and float with it until you can swim free. Those who fight it will likely drown. Now, I want to clarify something here. Accepting the current situation does not mean we have to like it. Let's take as an example some school districts' decision to have remote learning for the next school year. The decision has been made, which means we'll be home with our kids all day, having to manage their online learning. We don't have to like this decision. We don't have to agree with it. In fact, we may have entirely different opinions and ideas about how things could be handled. But the decision has been made, and now we have to live with it. And that can be very frustrating, being forced to live with a decision that someone else made about what your life will have to look like. But it is what it is. And the wise thing would be to accept it. We can say, I hate it, but I have to live with it. And you know what? We will live with it. We can. Opposing reality, fighting it, will cause nothing but stress and anxiety because our expectations do not align with what is, with reality. So we can choose to live in our dream, in our expectations, meaning in stress and anxiety, or we can choose to live in reality. Now let me have you imagine something for a moment. You are on a ship sailing on the ocean, and at one point the ship lands and drops you off on an island. What do? Do you sit there and pout and stomp your foot and complain about how this is not the island that you wanted to be on? Or do you start going around looking for food and shelter? I think all of us would start looking for food and shelter, which means safety. And doing this shows we're accepting the reality. And this is an important step in managing challenges and in our survival. So I hope I was able to clarify how acceptance of reality works. Usually people think accepting reality implies to also appreciate it and to like it and agree with it, with what's going on. And that's not it. Acceptance is a far simpler and more basic step. It is what it is. All right, so now we get to the third step. After we are able to acknowledge the feelings, I feel a lot of stress about my kids starting school, then we're able to accept reality. This is what's happening. Now we can move into action with clarity. What can I do to get through this in the best way that I can? And action is the step that can bring us joy. I'm not talking about constant, intense happiness and euphoria, but about finding moments of peace and joy that help us to not have regrets when we look back on our lives a few years from now. For the action step, I like to focus on two things: an inward action and an outward action. The inward action has to do with having self-compassion. Dr. Kristin Neff, who is a pioneer in the field of self-compassion, has a few self-compassion exercises that you can try. I'll link to them in the video description. They're worth checking out. The inward action translates into giving ourselves a break, truly accepting that our house doesn't have to look spotless. We don't have to do everything, and we don't have to do it perfectly. We only have to do whatever we can in the moment. And if that means that one day I can't muster the energy to start the dishwasher, then so be it. I get another chance tomorrow morning. I'll only be pushing myself as far as I can safely go so that I can remain in touch with myself and present for myself and my family. What we need is to slow down and offer ourselves the kind of mental support we would offer a dear friend or family member. The way we get through this is to take it slowly, one day at a time. Now, the outward action is focusing on gratitude. And you may be wondering, how is this connected to our stress about our kids starting school soon? Well, there's a lot of research that's been done on the positive effects of gratitude. And it seems that when we practice gratitude, our overall well-being increases. We sleep better, we can cope better with stress and depression, and it helps strengthen our relationships. So how can we practice gratitude in a time when there seem to be so little things to be grateful for? Now, this will look different for everyone, but I encourage you to think of small things at first. Even the fact that you have a screen and internet connection to be watching this video right now. I am grateful that I have video calls with my family and friends daily. This is just an example. And this can be just taking a minute, either at the start of your day or at the end, to find one thing that brings you a full feeling of gratitude, that fills you up, and focus on it and how it feels in your body for a full minute. Another thing that I have been doing is, to help me find joy in being at home with my kids all this time, is watching videos of them as babies and toddlers. And this really softened my heart, and I'm able to see how little they still are and appreciate that, and how many traits and gestures and expressions they've preserved from when they were very young. Seeing my kids in this soft, beautiful light has helped me to tolerate a little better the mess that they create in the house in a matter of seconds. A little side note, I get very triggered by mess. So the question is, even though we have a lot of stress about our kids starting school soon, how can we find little moments of joy so we can still be present for our children and our relationship? To recap, we can become aware of our feelings, acknowledging them, accept reality as it is without trying in vain to change it, and take action to decide what are the things that we can do that are good for us to keep us going forward. Bringing in a positive perspective requires intention and effort. It comes more easily to some than others, but if practiced, we can all get better at it. We have to override our brain's tendency toward constant negativity, and we can do it. Deep inside, we all have a peaceful place that we can tap into if we allow ourselves some time and quietude. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know how these tips are working out for you. You can contact me at the email address in the video description below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscribe button below and the notification bell so you know when new videos come out. See you next time.